Having a smart home is super useful. Everything can be controlled hands-free and automations can make your life easier. But devices need internet to work. Or do they? Can you still control your smart home if the internet goes down? Or does your entire smart home shut down, forcing you to control everything by hand? Well, today I'll be putting my entire smart home to the test to see what works when the internet is out. We'll test everything from controlling lights and Apple TV, cameras, and if automations still run. I hope everything will still work, but I have a feeling that some things will not work without internet. So I'm nervous to see what will happen. We'll start out in the more interesting parts of my house, the bedroom. I'm using a Wi-Fi smart plug by Maris to power a fan, and surely it won't work without internet. Yep, works in the Home app, and what about the Maris app? Yep, works here too. The light is from Lutron, and manual control of course works, but what about from the Home app? Power and brightness work and is fully functional from the Lutron app as well. When I open my screen door, a contact sensor updates accordingly in the Home app along with an alert that it's opened. So far, everything seems to be working just fine without internet, right? Well, let's see if this light strip from Aqara works without internet as well. As we can see, it works in the Home app with no issues controlling the power, the brightness, or the color. This light strip is addressable, so I should be able to create different color designs in the Aqara app using their hub with no problem. So let's try it. That's weird. So not only do all of my devices in the Aqara app show offline, none of them can be controlled locally in the Aqara app, only in the Home app. The Aqara app needs internet for local control in their app. Not something I would expect from Aqara, to be honest. Something I would expect is for automations to still run. So do automations in the Home app still run without internet? Let's test one I use for controlling the light in my bathroom when I open the contact sensor on my door. Since everything is working well in Apple Home, I'm confident this will work too. Let's see. That's weird. Maybe it's a bug. Let's try again. No, it doesn't work. So automations created in the Home app don't run when the internet is out. I was bummed to see this until I remembered that my light does not work with Apple Home like my contact sensor does. So I can't even create this automation in Apple Home. It works with Amazon, so I'm using an Amazon routine to do this, but Amazon is a cloud-based platform that requires internet for automations to run, which is why my automation did not run. This still does not answer the question if automations in Apple Home run without internet. Well, before we answer that and see if other devices work without internet too, like an Apple TV or HomePod mini, I should mention that if the power goes out, nothing will work. Not just smart home devices, but anything that uses electricity. You'll need an external battery or portable power station to have things working again. But what's the odds that the power will actually go out? The power went out. Thankfully, I have a backup portable power station from EcoFlow, the sponsor of today's video, and their River 3 Plus has been a huge game changer for me. It has 7 ports, 3 AC outlets with UPS function, 2 USB-A, 1 USB-C, and 1 car output. It's powerful enough to serve as a backup UPS for computers or even a router, starting in under 10 milliseconds when the power goes out to prevent data loss and get devices back up and running again. The River 3 Plus can power your devices for up to 4 days, and even longer with extra battery packs, way longer than the typical UPS, which only lasts a few hours. It charges in just 1 hour using 4 different methods for complete flexibility wherever you are. Plus, its Life PO4 batteries last over 10 years. With 600 watts of power, it can power pretty much any device you own. Heating appliances like coffee makers up to 1200 watts using X-Boost technology, and even power large appliances like a refrigerator. My favorite feature though is the EcoFlow app, which lets me monitor battery levels, customize power usage, and receive low battery alerts. The River 3 Plus by EcoFlow is compact, lightweight, and portable enough to take anywhere, and even has a built-in light strip as a small light in the dark. This battery backup would have been a huge lifesaver for me during a recent hurricane when I did not have backup power and ended up losing all the food in my refrigerator. With the River 3 Plus, I could have kept everything running for days and saved hundreds of dollars. Power up your new year with the all-new River 3 Plus UPS Portable Power Station by EcoFlow. Use this code right here to get an additional 5% off during EcoFlow's New Year sale. And a huge thank you to EcoFlow for sponsoring today's video. Let's head to the living room and see what devices work without internet and what does not. I have a feeling some devices are not going to work. All my Philips Hue lights work in the Home and the Hue app using the Hue bridge. My Lutron Aurora button works to control the power and the brightness of all my lights, so other people can still easily control the lights. This Wi-Fi LifeX bulb up here can be fully controlled without internet in both Apple Home and in the LifeX app too. My Aqara smart lock works from Apple Home, and even HomeKey works on my Apple Watch since HomeKey does not need internet to work. My thermostat, of course, works from the unit itself and in the Home app, but surprisingly cannot be controlled from the ecobee app, which surprises me that ecobee thermostats need the cloud to use their app locally. So everything seems to be running just fine for the most part without internet. So I can just kick back and watch a movie for some entertainment on my Apple TV. Or can I? First, let's try to set the mood. Wow, it worked. When my Apple TV turned on, it ran a scene that turned on a light strip behind the TV for ambient lighting. I'm surprised this worked because I'm using HomeBridge to do this and does not natively work with Apple Home. I'll leave a link in the video description on how to set this up, but since this automation was created in the Home app and works, that answers the question that yes, automations in the Home app will run when the internet is out. Though you will need a home hub to do this, like an Apple TV, HomePod, or HomePod mini. So can you actually watch content on an Apple TV when the internet is out? Well, of course you won't be able to stream anything, and AirPlaying photos and videos from the Photos app play just fine, but what about AirPlaying downloaded content from my phone, like a TV show or movie from a streaming platform like Netflix or Disney+? Well, when I try to do that, I keep getting error messages with all streaming platforms, so this will not work. Man, I really wanted this to work, and I'm surprised it does not. Nothing surprised me more than what happened next with my HomePod. Timers and alarms can be created and viewed from the Home app, though they cannot be created via voice on a HomePod. Since I'm able to control devices using Siri on my iPhone or Apple Watch locally, surely I can do the same using Siri on the HomePod.
One sec. Still on it. I'm having trouble connecting to the internet.
That's because a HomePod relies on Apple's cloud servers to process voice commands and control compatible Apple Home devices, so it needs an internet connection. Why does Siri on a HomePod need internet to control devices locally? That seems weird to me. So I can't control devices or run scenes via voice, but what about playing music on the HomePod? I know I can't stream anything, but what about AirPlaying music I've downloaded to my phone? Actually, yes, AirPlay works playing from Apple Music and from any streaming platform or any content downloaded to a device, even a movie or TV show from a streaming platform. So now I can have some entertainment after all. I'm curious if my cameras will work without internet. But before we look at that, let's head into my office where I would really want everything to work when the internet is down. My office lights turn on when I open the door. My box light and fan are on Aqara smart plugs that work in the Home app, but again, requires the cloud to use in the Aqara app locally. This floor lamp by Govee also works perfectly in Apple Home using Matter and in the Govee app to customize the colors without needing the internet. My Amazon and Google speakers, which are my Matter controllers for those platforms, do not work since they require the cloud. My background light does not work with Apple Home and uses Wi-Fi, so I doubt this will work. Wow, yeah, power, color, and brightness, it all works locally. Next, let's head outside and see if my cameras still work without internet. But first, let's see if this button works. Yep, it does. I use it to run an I'm out scene that turns everything off in the house with just the press of a button. So coming outside, there's 3 things I want to test with my cameras. Number 1, does live streaming still work? Number 2, can I still get motion alerts? And number 3, do the cameras still record footage? And if so, can I access the footage without internet? So number 1, can I view the live stream of a camera without internet? Well, I'm going to open my indoor office camera in the Home app, and yeah, I can see the live feed. Let's try an outdoor camera. Yep, that works too. These are all ones by Wifi and are native to HomeKit. But what about devices that are not native to HomeKit, like my doorbell? I'm using HomeBridge to get it working in Apple Home, so I'm not expecting this to work. So let's see. Wow, live streaming actually works. All of these cameras can even live stream from the Wifi app without internet, which is especially great for my wife since she uses a Wifi camera as a baby monitor at night. If this camera did not work without internet, it would make it difficult to keep an eye on our daughter while she's sleeping in her room. So my wife is happy that this camera works offline, and as the saying goes, happy wife equals happy life. Cameras that are in the Home app will be able to show a live feed on all of your Apple devices, whether an iPhone, Mac, or even on your Apple TV without internet. Number 2, what about motion alerts? Can I still get an alert if there's motion and I have no internet? Let's test my doorbell here. And when I walk in front of it, nothing happens. No alert, and it does not even show that motion has been detected. This is frustrating because I would still like to know if somebody is at my door or even if a package has been delivered and I don't have internet. Again, this doorbell is not native to HomeKit, so what about a native camera? Will my Wifi cameras send me a motion alert? We can see the motion sensor detects motion and there's a motion alert, so that's good. I can be alerted if somebody is near my home, even when the internet is out. This also applies to all cameras in the Home app as well as a dedicated motion sensor. So I can view the live feed of all my cameras, I can get motion alerts for native HomeKit cameras, but what about HomeKit Secure Video or recordings? So HomeKit Secure Video is a cloud-based video recording service, so it requires the internet. So motion clips are not going to be recorded in the Home app. Cameras will still record footage locally on a microSD card or a hub if the camera supports it. So this is a great reason to use a camera that supports local storage or a hub as a backup option so footage can still be recorded when the internet is out. You won't be able to view footage remotely, only locally. But then again, if your internet is out, you're not going to be able to do anything remotely with your smart home. Cameras that only support HomeKit Secure Video and not a microSD card for local storage will not be able to record any footage when the internet is out. I'm very happy to see that basically my entire smart home works without internet. I'm able to control my lights, view a camera live feed, and even run automations. However, I was surprised to find that while some brands like Maris and LifeX that use Wi-Fi work offline, whereas others like Ecobee and Aqara require internet for local control in their apps. I'm a huge fan of Aqara, so this was quite disappointing to see, to be honest, but it's not that big of a deal to me since I rarely use their app. But it could be an issue for you if you use their app often, as nothing will work without internet. I mainly control my smart home from the Home app, where any device will work when offline, regardless of the brand and if they use Wi-Fi, Thread, Matter, or even require a hub. Now, you're probably wondering, why does this matter? Why is it important for devices to work without internet? Well, there's a few reasons why. For one, it makes life easier if devices are working as you'd expect them to prevent confusion on how to control them without internet. If a company goes out of business, then you'll still be able to control the device offline. More importantly though, is that local control allows you to keep your data private and local without relying on the cloud. Privacy is a major benefit of using platforms like Apple Home, where data is stored and encrypted locally and devices can work offline. Whereas platforms like Amazon and Google impact your privacy by being cloud-based, and required the internet for both local control and automations. I'd recommend trying this experiment yourself to see what works in your smart home and what does not without internet, because I think you'll be surprised at what you find. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll see y'all in the next one.